Hello. So today we're going to be talking about Premiere and LUTS. So we'll keep this nice and short, straight to the point, and see how we get on. So this is a clip I've got from cinestudy.org, free, and from Blackmagic Mini cameras, raw footage. So I've got a little tiny scene here I've selected. So I'll drag this out, stick it onto the timeline, and we've got it here. Okay, I will just remove the audio by just unlinking, select the audio, delete, and then we'll just zip over to editing. There's nothing I really want to do to this at this point. Okay, so now we'll just jump straight over to the colour tab at the top here. So I do actually want to edit a tiny bit of the blue here. So rather than actually change the blue, I'm just going to up the temperature slightly, a bit more skin tone to her. Right, bottom left. Okay, so this is where we've got the project browser here. I'm going to add a adjustment layer. Okay, right, I'm going to drag the adjustment layer over the top of the clip I've got. Let's resize this a bit, make it the same length as the movie, use it for the whole clip. Right, now the moment I change, on the right hand side, it says Lumetri Color. The moment I change something over here, within the effect controls, Lumetri will appear at the bottom. So let's change the contrast to fraction, tiny bit. Okay, see it's appeared at the bottom here. Now I'm going to rename this to be the correction. Okay, so I just type correction, or so now I know that this one here is for the correction. So with this adjustment layer selected, I will just also exposure, add a bit of contrast, a bit of reduce highlights, tiny bit, a bit of blanks there. We'll leave it like this. So what I want to do is to apply a LUT to this clip here. And I'm going to apply it to this adjustment layer. But the way we're going to do it is not by going straight into creative, but we're going to add an effect onto the adjustment layer. Okay, so we go to effects and make sure you've got your little search thing open. Just type Lumetri and then C, and then drag over Lumetri Color onto the adjustment layer. Okay, and now there's two. I've got one's called correction, one's just called Lumetri Color. So what I'll do is I'll rename the Lumetri Color. We'll just call this LUT or grade. Okay, just don't know what it is. So now I've got two Lumetri colors on this adjustment layer. So we go back to color. Okay, so while I've got the correction selected, this is my the correction Lumetri color is for playing around with all the white balance and tone and everything else. Now, if I change it to this one here, Lumetri Color, this one up here on the right hand side, I've changed it on the drop down here. This is where I'm going to apply the LUT. Okay, so I'm going to go into Creative, use the drop down at the top which says Look. I always wonder if that would look better as LUT actually. Change it down to something like this one here, and now I've got a LUT applied to it. Now that LUT is applied to that Lumetri Color, not this one, not the correction one. Okay, so I can reduce the intensity a bit, maybe reduce the vibrance a tiny bit. Okay, so that's it in a nutshell. So use an adjustment layer. Okay, make a change to the basic correction on your first Lumetri Color. Right? Rename it so you know which one it is. Go into effects, drag over a new Lumetri Color, and rename it to something that you know that's where you're going to apply your LUT or do some color grading, and keep them separate, and you can have a lot more control. Okay, so key thing here, effects. You can have multiple Lumetri colors on an adjustment layer, and you can see how they turn out. If I just decide here, if I go back to the Lumetri Color, go back to the color tab, and then go down to make sure I've got the LUTS or grey selected here in the top. Go down to creative. I can turn off the creative. Okay, I can turn on and off whatever I want to. So I'll turn this back on before and after so I can see what it is. I'll go through a few frames, make sure the colours are okay throughout. And I can still apply changes to the LUTS or grey, this Lumetri Color here, on the way through here. So I could actually go into curves, into an RGB curve, and still reduce the amount of blue, for example. Okay. Oh, just double click on the yellowy greeny line here, and reset it back to normal, or I can reduce all the colour. Right, so that pretty much wraps up. Nice and short, straight to the point. How to get an adjustment layer in there. Add the Lumetri Color for the correction first, then add a second Lumetri Color for your LUTs or some colour grading, and then keep them separate and then control. All right. I hope this has been useful and helpful, and thank you.